Hello Cowboys Nation, welcome to another video, and without further ado, let's get to another round of news from America's team. Will McClay needs to be criticized as loudly as he is praised by Cowboys Nation. The NFL draft is one of the most critical times for teams to build their rosters and secure talent that can contribute to immediate success and future development. For the Dallas Cowboys, however, the second round of the draft has been an area of particular frustration over the past decade. Despite boasting a solid front office and a respected vice president of player personnel in Will McClay, the Cowboys have struggled to hit on second-round picks consistently since his draft duties were expanded in 2014. This issue has contributed to the team's inability to make the most of their draft resources, hindering their quest for an elusive sixth Lombardi trophy. Will McClay has been one of the key figures in the Cowboys' personnel decisions since 2014, and his influence on the draft in the same span is significant. Known for his sharp scouting eye and player evaluation skills, McClay and his team are tasked with identifying talent that can make an immediate impact on the field. Under his leadership, the Cowboys have had some success in the draft, most notably in the first round, but also in the later rounds in undrafted players. Gems like cornerback Darren Bland and quarterback Dak Prescott come to mind. However, the second round, which is typically reserved for players with high upside and immediate starter potential, has been a stumbling block for McClay and the Cowboys. I find it unfair to pass final judgment on McClay's last 3 second-round picks because they still need time to show us what they can do. Defensive end Sam Williams, defensive tackle Motzie Smith, and tight end Luke Schoonmaker have all dealt with various injuries that have stunted their development, and both they and McClay deserve the chance to show the value of their selections. At the end of the day, we can praise Will McClay to the ends of the earth, but we need to recognize his struggles making valuable player selections in the second round. Blockbuster Cowboys trade idea would save Dak Prescott. The Dallas Cowboys need more on both sides of the football. That should start with upgrading the offense, as the Cowboys had some brutal moments when Dak Prescott went down last season on that side of the football. The Cowboys haven't made many blockbuster trades in recent years, but if there's a time for one, it's now. If they could land a top 10 wide receiver to help Prescott make plays and open the rest of the offense, this could be a completely different Cowboys team. Landon Holyfield of Athlon Sports proposed a deal that would do just that. His proposal would land Garrett Wilson, the New York Jets' young star wide receiver. Among the top trade targets is Garrett Wilson, who already has ties to Texas as an Austin native. The Jets, who lack long-term quarterback stability, could shop Wilson to acquire compensation before they have to make a decision on picking up his club option, which would guarantee him almost $17 million in 2026, Holyfield wrote. While the Dallas Cowboys season didn't go as planned last year, the New York Jets have dealt with seasons like that for far too long. At some point, it'd only make sense if Wilson gets upset and wants to play for a different team. Would that be the Cowboys? Possibly not, but they're in a much better position than the Jets to win a Super Bowl in the future. New York is still looking for its franchise quarterback, something Dallas has. Aaron Schatz of ESPN predicted the Jets would trade Wilson in February, adding that he was clearly unhappy with how the Jets used him. Trade wide receiver Garrett Wilson, Schatz said. Wilson was clearly unhappy with his usage by the end of the season. He should have shined with better quarterback play from veteran Aaron Rodgers, and he did. In fact, Wilson set personal records in receptions, 101, yards, 1,104, and touchdowns, 7. But there was definitely a feeling that Wilson could have done more. Wilson is eligible for a big contract extension, probably around $30 million per year. The Jets can let another team pay that while they undergo a bit of a rebuild, dealing Wilson for as much draft capital as possible, Schatz wrote. There was some noise about the New York Jets potentially moving Wilson last year prior to the deadline. That was more of other teams being hopeful that the Jets would move him. Not only would the Dallas Cowboys want him, but so would most other teams. If the Jets continue to struggle and he becomes available, the Cowboys should do whatever it takes to land him. Cowboys push to target Von Miller to pair with Micah Parsons. The Dallas Cowboys have a less than stellar pass rush, minus Micah Parsons. The front seven do not apply enough pressure on the quarterback to get them out of sync. For that reason, it might not be a bad idea for owner and general manager Jerry Jones to kick the tires on edge rusher Von Miller, a former Pro Bowl caliber player, and see what he has left in the tank. It is clear Miller is not the player he once was. He is 35 years old, but he can still rush the passer. In 2024 he had 6 sacks in 13 games off the bench. He only played 40% of the defensive repetitions. He and Parsons would form a tangible partnership. They could conceivably meet at the quarterback and knock him down. Miller previously signed a 6-year, $120 million contract with the Buffalo Bills and was released last month to save roughly $8.4 million in salary cap space. They needed every bit of it to get quarterback Josh Allen's deal done. Miller is not worth anywhere near that amount. However, Miller, a DFW native and Texas A&M product who lives here in the off-season, would probably be enticed to play for a cap-friendly contract so he can wear the star on his helmet and have one last day in the sun with Parsons. This is the active NFL leader in sacks with 129.5. Miller is not someone who has to be taught how to play the game. He has been to 8 Pro Bowls, was a 3-time All-Pro and was a 2-time Super Bowl champion. He was even voted a Super Bowl MVP, which does not happen often to defensive players. It would be interesting to see Miller and Parsons line up together and see what kind of havoc they could bring into opponents' backfields. What do you think of the idea? Would it be a good signing for the Cowboys? Tell us your opinion in the comments, like and subscribe to the channel. See you soon.